is mandated, to perform oversight function of the payment system. And therefore, we have developed policies over time. One such policy is to make sure that there are reforms in the payment systems. In other words, modernize the payment systems, making use of existence of technology to achieve efficiency, and included, in other words, to support or to achieve the policy objectives. The central bank, in collaboration with the commercial banks, apart from setting up the infrastructure itself, is or has developed a set of rules and regulations which have been put into force. And the whole idea is to make sure that the systems themselves are understood by participants and become efficient.
One may agree that it may reduce the use of cash. Overall, it may not necessarily be the only objective here, but as we move towards maximizing the usage, what is being done to ensure that we explore the full potentials of the payment system and discourage the use of cash?
I think I would take this opportunity really, to clarify or to make sure that this misconception in the minds of some of the public is no more. It is desirable that the use of cars is reduced or kept to a minimum. I mean, this is what all countries are working towards. But it is not the overriding objective, Mr. Moore. It is just natural that when you automate payment systems, you expect to have less use of cars, and this is important. This is a welcome result or outcome. What are we doing? Number one, the fact that we have implemented the system, it creates the opportunity. It makes available chances or opportunities for players in the economy, the banks and non-banks, even IT enterprises, to leverage on the existence of these systems and come up with solutions that would facilitate payments in this country. I can give you one. I'm sure you are aware of the planned deployment of a GAM switch, or the national switch, which is another form of payment, but targeting small value payments. And once that is fully implemented and integrated with RTGS in this country, we would go a long way in reducing the use of cars. But I really want to emphasize this, that the key consideration is not actually to reduce cars. Cars, Mr. Moore, may still continue to play a predominant role in the payment infrastructure in this country. Yeah.
That's quite true, Mr. Governor. The entire objective here is definitely not to totally stop cash transactions or to discourage it. But talking about the GAM switch and the RTGS you have mentioned, that leads us to how many components in total are we talking about here of the payment system, and then how many of them have been rolled out, and are we looking forward to seeing all the 4 components that you have mentioned being rolled out before the end of this year, or what time period exactly are we looking at?
We are talking about 4 components. The real-time gross settlement went live a year ago. So was the automated check processing, and check clearing system as well. That was the first to go live. The third is not so much about movement of cars, but indeed it is movement of value, but in the form of government securities or any other securities, which is also an important aspect of the payment infrastructure. We do expect that before end of March 2013, the security settlement system would go live. The fourth, Mr. Mboub, is the national electronic payment system dealing with small value payments, the so-called GAM switch or national switch, and we do expect again that one to go live before the end of the year. This would have completed the whole set of payment system that you would find in any modern society today in this country.
Talking about that, Mr. Governor, we quite understand that rolling out a new system always comes with its challenges. Of course, the successes are there as well. What are some of the critical success factors that are the critical successes of the components that are already rolled out, and then some of the challenges indeed that we are facing as an industry in rolling out these payment systems?
I take a moment to talk about the positive side of it, the achievement, if you like. Yeah. And I would want to start by saying that in any other area, the financial system cannot do without technology. And therefore, payment systems got to be modernized, making use of technology. So whether we like it or not, central bank would be forced to, central bank and the banking system in this country would be forced to modernize. And if I may use this measure, to prove the point that it is worth investing resources in such a venture, is a couple of months ago, the central bank, in collaboration with the Directorate of National Treasury and the commercial banks, were able to pay salaries, government salaries, and pension with a touch of a button. If I may simplify this, DNT merely sending us the message, central bank doing nothing other than forwarding the message to the commercial bank. Mr. Mboub, you are talking about over 25,000 transactions within 2 minutes. Yeah. To me, that is a big achievement. Yeah. If I may just also highlight one issue, and that is the volume and value of transactions through the payment systems increased by nearly 60%. The question is, well, does it mean that we were not doing payment system before? Certainly we were, but in a much efficient way. That's what is happening. And another positive thing is, at least for central bank, great value, is the fact that for the first time, we are able to create, a reliable database which contains very important, statistics. And as you will agree with me, statistics is fundamental when it comes to policy, formulation and implementation. Not to even mention about, timely settlement, elimination of settlement risks, as I said. But for me, what is worth talking about these challenges, and how can we overcome those challenges? One such challenge is to ensure that at every point in time, particularly at the level of Central Bank of the Gambia, and it also applies to the commercial banks, the users of the system, be it the technical staff or the functional staff, are appropriately capacitized, appropriately trained to make sure that the systems are maintained to run efficiently 24/7. this is a key challenge, and indeed we are investing a lot of money in the training of